reveal 10 exciting career paths you can explore to break into the world of fashion. And you can make anywhere between $50,000 to $120,000 a year or more. The salary ranges that I'm going to share in this video come from Glassdoor. In my personal experience, some of these numbers are a little bit off. I know people who work full-time and make drastically different wages than this, sometimes lower, sometimes higher. And I know freelancers as well who make a lot more than the numbers I'm going to share. Imagine working behind the scenes of the next big fashion show or creating the next must-have accessory. There are career paths in fashion that you might not even know exist, yet they play a crucial role in shaping the industry. Because there is a lot more to fashion than being a designer. With over 15 years in the fashion business, from launching my own label to working for brands of all sizes, I have seen what it takes to succeed firsthand. I also surveyed over 100 fashion industry professionals to get the real nitty-gritty of what each of these jobs entails on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to share insights on the essential jobs in the fashion industry and what it takes to get started in each of these roles. The first job is fashion designer. Yes, it is an obvious choice, but it is a crucial role in every brand, big or small. If you're creative and love style, fashion design can be a really, really rewarding choice. But this is a really coveted role, which is why it pays on the lower side. The average in the US is between about $50,000 to $59,000 a year. Fashion designers are like the creative masterminds behind clothes. They're doing trend research, putting together collections, picking out fabrics, and so much more. As a fashion designer, you can work for big or small brands, you can start your own brand, or you can freelance. But here's the catch. Fashion design is the most competitive role in the industry. Coming up as number 2, we have a technical designer. Technical designers are the important link between design and production. They're the ones who make sure the clothes are made right and fit well. Their job is pretty hands-on. They create detailed specs for garments, do fittings and sample reviews, and work closely with the manufacturers to make sure the designs come to life as the designer envisioned. Technical designers can work for fashion brands, work for manufacturers, or can also work freelance. It's a role that is super important, but often flies under the radar because it's not as flashy as being a designer. But there is a lot of demand for these roles, and the competition is much less than working as a creative designer. In the US, technical designers can earn average between $58,000 and $66,000 a year. If I had the chance to redo my fashion career, I would actually go into technical design. You get to be part of the design process, but you also get to be part of development, and it requires creative thinking, but also a lot of critical thinking. It's a super fun role. Number 3 is apparel pattern maker. Pattern makers are like the architects of a garment. They create patterns or sort of like templates that are used to cut and sew the garments. These patterns factor in the type of fabric, the intended fit, and any trims that will be used. Patterns are then graded across multiple sizes. One base size pattern is made larger and made smaller so they fit a size range of bodies. Like technical designers, pattern makers can work in-house for a brand, they can go freelance, they can work directly for a manufacturer, or they can even start their own pattern making studios and provide a range of pattern making services to various brands. In the US, a pattern maker is going to average about $64,000 to $73,000 a year. Coming up at number 4 is an apparel textile designer. Textile designers are the creatives behind the fabrics and textiles that you see in the fashion industry. They specialize in creating designs that are seen as repeating patterns across various fabrics, as well as designing knit, woven, and printed fabrics. As a textile designer, you get to think creatively not just about the artwork, but about the type of print, the texture, the type of fabric, and how it's ultimately going to look in the finished textile. Textiles can work for print agencies, they can work in-house at brands, they can also go freelance. As a textile designer, you can often go beyond fashion, home decor, automotive, and beyond. In the US, a textile designer is going to average between $57,000 and $70,000 a year working full-time. In number 5, we have fashion merchandiser. Fashion merchandisers are the ones that decide what products go into a store or what products go into the full collection. Instead of designing individual garments, they're looking at the cohesive collection as a whole and which garments are going to merchandise well in the store, maybe based on where the store is located, or which garments are going to merchandise well in the range plan or the collection as a whole. Merchandisers rely on a deep understanding of trends and consumer preferences to make these decisions. It requires a keen eye of style as well as data analysis to predict what styles will sell. Fashion merchandisers can work for a specific brand, or they can work for a specific retail outlet and decide what gets stocked on the store shelves. They can also work freelance and work for a variety of brands to help them with their merchandising. In the US, a full-time fashion merchandiser earns between $45,000 and $53,000 a year. Number 6 is fashion buyer, also known as a retail buyer. Buyers are responsible for selecting and purchasing the garments that ultimately end up in a retail store. But it's not just about having a good eye for style. Fashion buyers need to understand consumer preferences, market trends, and brand positioning to know what is going to sell. Buyers carefully curate collections, negotiate with the suppliers, and manage inventory levels to make sure these stores have the right amount of clothing to meet customers' demands. They're always on the lookout for the next big trend, attending trade shows, meeting with suppliers, and conducting market research to stay ahead of the industry. Fashion buyers can work directly for retail companies or fashion brands. I don't see them working very often as freelancers though. In the US, the average salary for a full-time fashion buyer ranges between $58,000 and $67,000 a year. Number 7 is fashion production manager. Fashion production managers are also known as production coordinators. They are the backbone of the industry. They ensure that everything from design through development runs smoothly and on time and within budget. They develop production workflows, allocate resources, and address issues that may arise during the manufacturing process. Fashion production managers can work in-house for brands or for manufacturers. They can also start their own production consulting firms or work as freelancers to oversee production for multiple clients simultaneously. In the US, per Glassdoor, fashion production managers can earn between $48,000 and $50,000 a year. Number 8 is fashion sourcing manager. Sourcing managers specialize in finding and sourcing specific trims, textiles, materials, and factories to make the actual garments. So when a designer comes up with a new design, the sourcing manager gets started finding new fabrics if needed, finding a new factory that specializes in maybe a specific type of construction or specific type of garment, as well as all the trims to bring that garment to life. But their responsibilities extend beyond procurement. They're also assessing supplier capabilities, negotiating contracts, and ensuring timely delivery of materials. Sourcing managers might work in-house for a fashion brand or directly with a manufacturer. They can also work as a freelance consultant. In the US, their average wage is between $65,000 and $72,000 a year. Number 9 is a fashion product manager. And yes, this is different than number 7, a fashion production manager. While a fashion production manager overviews the entire production process, a product manager overviews the product from its inception through bulk production. Product managers are the ones collaborating across teams. They work closely with designers, marketers, manufacturers, and more. Their job is to ensure every product aligns with the brand's vision as well as meeting the customer expectations. Product managers can work in-house or can start their own consulting agencies. Salaries for a product manager range between $70,000 to $120,000 a year. Number 10 is a fashion trend forecaster. Trend forecasters or trend analysts are the ones that are trying to predict what the next big trends are going to be. It is a job full of a ton of research and data analysis. They look at various lifestyle trends across different industries, they evaluate consumer preferences, and they see what is going on the streets in order to create and come up with the next big trends. They can work with major retailers, work directly inside of a brand, or offer their services as an independent freelance consultant. Per Glassdoor, fashion trend forecasters earn an average of $50,000 a year, but like I said, I know many who earn way more than this. Now, like I said at the beginning, when most people think of fashion, they think about the design component. But the reality is there is so much more going on behind the scenes that bring garments to life beyond design. Now, if you want to work for yourself in fashion and make money and have freedom in your day, the good news is that almost all of these jobs can be done remotely as a freelancer. And from my firsthand experience, freelancing in fashion is the best way to work in the industry. The key is finding the niche and the role that meets your interests as well as market demands. Please like, subscribe, and recommend this video to someone else you know who wants to break into the world of fashion. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi, signing off.